All right, y'all. So we are getting ready to do our booty shaping. We're just going to add some short rows to the back side of our skirt, just to give it a little bit more length to make it over the booty and making sure that it's going to cover the booty. So the first thing that you're going to do for your booty shaping is you are going to do the setup round. I've actually already done the setup round in a few short rows, but I'm going to go ahead and show you what you can expect. So for the setup round, you're going to be starting at the beginning of round, and you're going to be working the number of stitches according to your size, and then you're going to place a stitch marker. This indicates the side of the skirt. Then you're going to keep knitting around until you reach the other side of the skirt where you're going to place another marker. And then you make your way back to the beginning of the round. After you've completed your setup row, that's when you're going to start your short rows. And you're going to use your stitch markers as a guide of where those short rows begin and end. So for row 1, what you're going to do is you're going to knit to 10 stitches before that stitch marker. Then you're going to turn your work and do the German short row, and you're going to, for row 2, work your way back across the wrong side because you will have turned your work. So it'll look like this. And for row 2, you'll be working your way back across to 10 stitches before the other stitch marker, at which point you will do the German short row, turning your work, at which point you'll be over here 10 stitches before this stitch marker, and for row 3 you'll be working your way back across the right side until you get to 2 stitches before your last double stitch. You're going to turn your work to do your 4th German short row. You'll be looking at your wrong side. You'll be over here, and you're going to work your way around again to then 2 stitches before the double stitch on this side. Okay? So that is the general pattern, row 1 through 4. And then you're just going to keep repeating rows 3 and 4, working your way back and forth. I'm going to show you now how to do a German short row turn. So the first thing I have to do is knit across to 2 stitches before that double stitch. I'll meet you on the other side. Okay, so I have knit to 2 stitches before the last double stitch. You can see this is the last double stitch. Got a stitch in between. So now I'm going to turn my work to the wrong side. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the tip of my right hand needle and I am going to insert it purlwise into that stitch that I just knit. I'm going to take my working yarn and I'm going to bring it up and over that right hand needle as I slip that stitch off like that. Now, what you need to do now is reposition your yarn to the front of your work and begin purling. You'll notice when you bring the working yarn up over that right hand needle as you're slipping the stitch, that's what makes this unique double stitch. So now I'm going to continue purling across. I'm going to go past the beginning of round marker all the way to the last double stitch on that side. Or rather, 2 stitches before that last double stitch on that side. So I'm just going to keep purling my way across and I will meet you on the other side. Okay, so as you can see, I purled to 2 stitches before that last double stitch I made on this side. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the work. And on the right side, when you're doing this German short row turn, you need to bring the yarn to the front of your work to start out. Then you need to take your right hand needle and insert it into that first stitch purlwise. You're going to take your working yarn and bring it up and over your right hand needle as you slip that stitch off the needle, thus creating the double stitch. Then I'm going to knit across, and I'm going to keep working in this back and forth manner until I've completed all of my short rows. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up my short rows, and then I will meet you just before we do the final round. All right, y'all. So I just finished row 16 and I turned my work. So now I'm about to work row 17. So the first thing I'm going to do is move my yarn to the front of the work so that I can make a double stitch. And then I am simply going to knit to the beginning of the round marker. I will meet you there. All right, so now I'm at the beginning of the round and I am ready to work my final round. And for this final round, I'm simply going to work all the way around my stitches, all the way around to the beginning of a round. And I'm going to knit those double stitches as I encounter them. So I'm going to go ahead and knit my way to my first double stitch, and I'll show you what it means to knit the double stitch. Okay, so I've made it to my first double stitch. And now I need to knit this double stitch as if it's a regular knit stitch. So you'll notice there's 2 legs in front of your needle and there's 2 legs behind your needle. So you're going to treat the 2 legs in front of the needle as if they're 1 leg, and the 2 legs at the back of the needle as if they're 1 leg as well. So to knit this, I'm going to keep those 2 front legs in front, 2 back legs in back, and then pull through a regular knit stitch. And you'll notice that as I continue to knit those double stitches, they look just like regular knit stitches. So I'm going to keep working my way around to the beginning of round marker, and I will meet you on the other side. All right, so I have finished my booty darts, and you can see, actually it's pretty difficult to see, which is a good thing. These right here are those German short rows. They are not really visible at all. So from here, all you have to do is continue knitting in the round until you have reached your desired length.